Good afternoon, everybody. My name is John. I am a product specialist here at Shoflo. And so today I'm going to be kind of walking you through a quick little overview of who we are, the software, as well as any of you actively on this webinar can ask questions and I'll address those as well. So just starting kind of from the top, we're Shoflo. We build event production software for all different types of teams that produce live events, broadcasts, theater, house of worship, all over the world every single day. And so inside of Shoflo, we have a variety of products and tools to kind of help you collaborate with your team in real time, eliminating a lot of version controlling and sending out different copies and even on show site printing and distributing paper. So inside of Shoflo, you'll see we have a variety of products. The first being what we call Shoflo Q, and Shoflo Q is essentially just that industry standard rundown or run of show with your items on the left hand side, as you'll see, and then you've got your start times and durations for those items, and then to the right you've got your different department columns. This picture just showing video, images, and lights, but that's things like audio, stage, production notes, different things like that. Also, each user in Shoflo can have their own private notes columns. So that is a column that's only designated for that individual user ID. And so no other user can see their notes. Those notes get actually passed through to each item. So as that item is moving throughout the show or the event, their notes will get transferred to those as well. So saving a lot of time in transferring, your own personal notes. The next product is what we call a schedule, and Shoflo schedules are great for building just kind of that high-level look at an outline view, or that maybe something like that PDF rendered out schedule that you're used to kind of getting already. A lot of the teams that are using it are building things like a production schedule, a rehearsal schedule, maybe a week at a glance type of view. But everything inside of a schedule is also real time, so you can still collaborate, update on the fly, and then the entire event team will see those updates instantly across all their different devices. So, and then the next item that we'll talk about, our next product, is what we call lists. And Shoflo Lists is another very useful tool for creating, that greater show book amount of documents. So, some teams are using it for creating things like a video asset list, or that DSM preset list, maybe a mic list, a variety of things, maybe even like an event contact list, across your entire team, so you can see contact info, maybe a role for the event, and different things. And then the last couple pieces to just a quick look at this is what we call Shoflo Docs, and Shoflo Docs is essentially it's just cloud-based file storage for your team event-wide. So every person that is invited into the event will have access to your docs, and you can upload different things such as stage renderings. Could be a keynote slide deck, a PowerPoint slide, an attendee list. It could be an MOV file, an MP4 file. Really doesn't matter. Any type of file format, and just drag and drop those right into the event. And now the entire event team has access to those files to download locally or open directly inside of the app. Just depends on the different file type. And then the last piece of this is, just for those of you who are creating or managing multiple events throughout the year, you've got what we call kind of the event management side. And so this is just a screenshot of Ryan Cotter here logged into his XYZ Productions team account. And from here, he can kind of manage all of his upcoming events. He can do stuff like assign labels, custom labels, which are completely customizable for each team. You can assign multiple different owners for filtered views. So that's great for those of you who are managing, 10 plus events a year and maybe want to filter down a view. Can just really save a lot of time and then help create that custom view on a per user basis. Well, great. Well, that's kind of a quick little look about the different things that you can do. What I wanted to do for the last half of this is just transition over to inside the app, and then again, if you have any questions, feel free to send those over to me. I'll answer those throughout this webinar, or those who might be viewing this at a later point in time. You can always send us questions in this little in-app chat, which is down in the right-hand corner. You can always send us questions either on our marketing website if you're not a user, or if you are a user inside the app that's available for all different types of users. Well, great. Well, let's just jump over to the software. And so as you'll see right here, I'm just logged in as myself, John Alexander. I'm a part of this webinar event, and I have my event date range. I've got my event logo right here in the middle. And then I have all of the different event documents, things that I've created and managed throughout this entire, kind of this event. And from here, just high level stuff to really quickly create new shows, lists, and schedules. All you need to do is just click this plus button, and that will give you the option to, from here, just click on create show, and then you can click on these either show, schedule, or list to create your different rundown or production schedule or list. So today I'm just going to quickly click on show, and I'm going to call this, we'll just call this a blank rundown. So clicking show or create, and now you'll see right here we put this blank rundown right up in front. So I'm just going to open this directly into this blank rundown, and I'm going to do one more thing, and I'm actually going to open this event and this show in a different browser. And the reason that I'm doing this is to show you the real-time updates and kind of what it would look like to collaborate on this with different users or different team members. So let's just kind of look at this. So as I kind of pan this tab over, I'm logged in this browser as my demo user. His name is Johnny Hollywood, and he's been invited into this webinar event and in the blank rundown. And then again, I'm logged in as myself, John Alexander, and I'm in the webinar event, and I'm inside of this blank rundown as well. And so, just a couple quick things just about this the software right here. You've got your typical kind of timeline, your different items going on, your private notes column, which I talked about a little bit, and then your different production, your different department columns. And right here we default for production notes, audio, video, and lights. You can also quickly come over here, click add column, add any new columns, and then just double click on the header, and you can change it. So maybe it's stage, or it could be other things, maybe a script, maybe another type of department notes. So let's just I'm going to pan this over. Now you kind of get an idea of the layout of this. And I'm just going to build out a few things. And so just to kind of give you an idea of how quick and easily you can make edits and how quickly those edits are seen in real time across different users and devices. So I'm just going to come here to block A, and I'm going to edit this and make it, we'll call this doors open. So as soon as I click out of that, you'll see we update over here instantly. So that's just how quick the real time is. And then I'm just going to build out the structure of this. So maybe we have a doors open, maybe we have a walk-in, maybe we have an opening video. And then maybe for this block B, we have, maybe this is a presenter style. Maybe we're just going to do a old classic Apple keynote. So we've got a Steve Jobs section right here for item 4. Maybe he has his, we'll do his keynote. Then maybe he does maybe we have an iPhone 8 commercial. Then maybe, I'll add a couple more items below this, but maybe we have we'll do maybe he does a audience, not like him, but maybe he does an audience Q&A. And then add a couple more things. Then maybe we do another commercial, and then we have his, we have a walkout, something really simple. Just going to make that there, and then I'm actually going to just, we'll just leave that right there. Okay, cool. So that's just a quick little look at how quickly you can build things. And as I was adding this stuff, the items you can see over here, we've just been updating all of those instantly in real time. And then as I just kind of get started in here, let's talk about some of the timing stuff. So timing is really easy to build. We've got something called auto time calculations. And so, if you know the doors open or what time this event starts, maybe we'll do a doors open at 7 p.m. And even though the keynotes are usually in the morning, let's just keep it 7 p.m. So we've got a doors open, 7 p.m. And now let's go down here. And you'll see as soon as I edit that start time, we trickle that down through the entire event. And you'll see where this comes into play when I start adding durations. So as I click on walk-in, you'll see we've got a start time of 7 p.m. And maybe this walk-in lasts 30 minutes. And so as soon as I edit that duration, we automatically calculate the start time for item 7 or item 3 to 7:30 p.m. And that is directly related to the duration for the previous item. And so if I come back and adjust this at a later point, you can do that. I'll just click on edit at the 25. Now we've adjusted the opening video to start at 7:25. So let's add a couple more durations in here and just build this thing out. So opening video, maybe it's something like 2 minutes, 15 seconds. And so now we've got a Steve Jobs section to start at 7:27. And then we'll come down and then, his section starts. So he jumps on to start his keynote at 7:27, 15 seconds. And maybe his keynote's set to last 10 minutes. And now we're at 7:37 iPhone 8 commercial. Maybe that commercial is 1 minute, 15 seconds. And the audience Q&A, maybe that's set for 15 minutes. Now we're at the, maybe it's another video commercial that's lasts maybe 2 minutes. And so now we're set for the walkout to be 7:55, 30 seconds. And so you can see just how quickly and easily I built out the structure of this event. All of this stuff is meant to be moved in real time too. So if you have changes throughout the pre-production or the rehearsal or even while running the event, so changing on the fly, you can absolutely do that. And so, if I come back in here maybe and I have, maybe he comes out and says he wants the iPhone 8 commercial to go before, the keynote. You can very quick and easily just hover over iPhone 8 commercial, press up, and now we just swap those two items. You can see instantly we swapped it over here. And then we kept the durations to that item, and then we adjust the start times of everything down below that instantly. So, real-time updates, very, very quick and easy to do and see across your entire team. Other little things you can do in here, just high-level stuff. Again, don't have time to go through everything, but simple stuff like, if you've got font formatting. So maybe I'll come to the keynote and we have a handheld mic number 5. You can come in here to this item or this cell and you can, adjust font sizes. You can do bold, italicize, text align. You can also do font colors. So I can make that handheld 5 and then I can add a background cell color to maybe a green. And then, so that's kind of the font formatting kind of feature. And then you've also just got simple abilities to do things like uploading images. So, images into a cell is awesome. You just click on this little image icon when you're highlighting on a cell and you can either upload an image off your own device or you can even insert an image URL. So I always love showing this example. I'm just going to come over to LinkedIn and I'm just going to copy a image off of maybe this is your speaker for your event. And so if I do that, I'll just come down here to this person and I'm going to right click. And when I do that, I'm just going to copy image address, go back to Shoflo and go here to this. Maybe this is, instead of lights, this is something like a speaker. And I'm just coming here to this cell, insert image by URL. And now, this is John Smith, CEO of Apple, and insert photo. And now we've just passed that image directly into the cell. And now that's seen, you can see how that's kind of leveraged. So, images are fantastic for a lot of different things, but things such as speakers, maybe your video team doesn't necessarily know what the CEO looks like. It could be used for a stage rendering, could be used for a keynote slide or a video thumbnail, just different varieties of stuff, but definitely adds that extra layer of visualization to the cue sheet. Last few things to talk about. You can quickly insert links directly into cells as well. So maybe this is that Spotify track, whatever, insert link. And now you have, a link directly to that. You can adjust what that link says, but you can kind of see the example there. You can also, do things such as timestamps. So if you're ever keeping track of a show or at any point, you can just place a quick timestamp by using Command G on a Mac, Control G on a PC, or even just clicking on this timestamp button up here in the top right. And then as we come over here, you can see you've got the ability to do search. You can always search for different things, and we'll pull up those notes, and you can click on them, and it'll highlight it. You can also from here. The next icon over here is what we call the export section. So exporting is great for if you ever need to do a quick download, or you need to provide a paper print off, or generate that guest pass link. You'll want to do that right here in the top right, and then you'll just see you've got the variety of different export options. You can do XLS, unformatted CSV, or you can do the personal and generic PDF, which is going to PDFs are great. They're going to bring in font formatting. They're going to bring in those global highlights if I set one right here, which are seen by everybody. And it's just a great way to kind of provide that data. So let's just take a look at what that would look like. Just going to do my personal, do landscape, and then just click export. Going to take a couple seconds. But what that's going to do, it's going to bring in the colors, images, links, and all of that. So let's just open this real quick, and you'll see what the example of a PDF export looks like. It's going to look and present really well with a timestamp in the bottom right. You've got your name of your event. In the middle, you've got your name of your rundown on the left, and then your team name over here to the right. And then the last two pieces, is going to be what we'll talk about today is, Guest Pass. Guest Pass is a really cool tool. You can actually turn this on, and when you do that, you can copy the link. You can even set which columns you want to be visible. I'm just going to leave them all for now, but I've copied that link, and now think, this is me. I could share this with a vendor, with a client, with another volunteer, a team member who doesn't necessarily need to have a user account, but when they open that URL, they are going to see the latest and greatest of your blank rundown. You can see the last time this was updated, the most up-to-date version. You can even jump to different aspects of the show, the event that you've made available in Guest Pass View. And this is a really cool way to share limited access to the different rundown. You've also got Activity Feed. Activity Feed is everything edit that's going to be made inside this show. You can see who made it, what time they made it, the date range. We even allow you to, on a per cell basis, so if I come in here and edit this to handheld number 6, on a per cell basis, I can see the entire edit history. So for that item 6 audio column, you can see we had handheld 5 before at this time. We adjusted it at this time, and I can always restore back if I'd like to. So this is great for just departments to be able to keep track of the different changes that are going on inside of the given columns. And then the last piece is going to be, what we'll talk about today is show color tracking. And so show color tracking is very easy to set up and run, and it's just on a permissional basis. So I myself have a permission of show color for this event, and I know that by when I'm hovering over these items, you'll see I get this little track icon right in the top right of each item. And so to start tracking as a show caller, I just hover over track, click track item, and when I do that, that puts this little icon in the top right-hand corner. And so when I'm now, as a show caller, I can just advance to the next item very easily by pressing spacebar. And I can do shift spacebar to go back. I can even track out of order and come down here and track something. But I'm going to start with the walk-in, click track item, and in addition to putting this blue bar, I've also started a 25-minute countdown clock up here in the top right-hand corner. And When I do that, that's tracking. It's counting down based on that duration, and that will get me to what we talked about, which is when the rest of the event crew can follow along with you to keep track and keep everybody on the same page throughout the event. So if I come back over here to this user, you'll see we have John A in the top right. And when this user is ready to start tracking John, he just clicks on his name, John A, and that will sync up with him, this blue bar across his screen as well, his device. And it also syncs up the item runtime clock. So you'll see up here, we now have 24 minutes left. These two clocks are exactly in sync. And so as I advance to the next item, you'll see advance to item 3, opening video. We've now auto-advanced this user to that item. I'll press it again, Steve Jobs section. Press it one more time to the iPhone 8 commercial. Now we're just moving them through the show. And the item runtime clock is going to change depending on the durations of each item. Each user can quickly make the item runtime clock full screen, which is awesome. A lot of teams will hook this up to that downstage monitor or hook it up an HDMI output to a backstage and get more people to kind of see where they're at. And then another note, if you ever go over an item's duration, this clock will turn red and it'll start counting up. And so that is just really good for keeping everyone on the same page and also knowing we are X seconds, X minutes over that projected time. And now we need to make it up, at given points throughout the event, or, we have extra time available. So that's kind of the quick look at show caller tracking. To stop tracking, you just press this little red mega horn and, you're good to go. So that's probably going to wrap for today. I don't want to we've been here, for a little while, and there's a lot of other good stuff in here. But this is a quick little general overview. Again, for those of you joining, thanks so much. We do these every single week. Thursdays at 1 p.m. Eastern. Be sure to sign up for those if you ever want to jump in and get a quick little look. We also, every other week, do a more in-depth webinar on key features such as timing, show caller tracking, and different things as well. So again, thanks so much. My name is John. If you have any questions or feedback for me, my email is john, John, @ shoflo.tv. And again, thanks so much for joining, guys. Look forward to